So the human sources, so how extensive are Israeli operatives embedded in the Iranian infrastructure and architecture, really?
Oh, Israel had been embedding for quite a long time, and I can just assume a general meeting in the headquarters of the IRGC, the people sitting there and looking to the side and looking to the left and thinking maybe this guy is the spy and maybe this guy is the Mossad source. So this is the nature of the penetration of Israeli intelligence service into the hardcore of the regime, and we see the outcome.
I think one of the messages that has confused the public is that after the 12-day war, the world was told that Iran's nuclear capabilities had been destroyed. Now, the world was told that this war needed to happen to make sure that Iran didn't again get a nuclear bomb. Can you give us some more information about what was completed in the 12-day war and what still needed to happen?
We have to remember one thing. The Iranians are possessing 480 kilo of enriched uranium to the level of 62%. In order to make this gap between 60% and 90%, which is needed for a nuclear device, it's about 2 weeks or so. But you need the infrastructure, technological infrastructure, and so on. They also possess 3.5 tons of uranium enriched to 3.2%, which can also enable them to do that. What Israel has been doing and in the 12 days war, and of course with the assistance of America, is to destroy and annihilate as much as possible the infrastructure, the centrifuges, the 10,000 centrifuges that are running for enrichment. But nevertheless, we haven't destroyed two things. First of all, we did not destroy the knowledge. The knowledge still exists within the Iranian scientists, and we haven't destroyed or we haven't reached those enriched uranium that probably are buried now either in Isfahan or Natanz, those two places that were bombed. So right now the task is, first of all, to be sure and to be certain that those 480 kilos that enable 11 atomic bomb will not be dug out or recovered.
Oded, just finally, that first very successful surprise attack on the Ayatollah and 40 of his leadership, that was the first act of war. But now all of the leadership, the scientists have all gone underground. Literally underground. So how hard is it now to target them?
It's harder because everybody not just going underground, but getting rid of all the devices that might be enabled to track him. But nevertheless, we are still having our assets. We are still having our sources. We're still having our know-how and technology. And so it's maybe a little bit more complicated, but I can say it's disabled the abilities, and we are seeing the consequences every day. If I may, I want to say one word about the stand of the United Kingdom here. I think it's shameful stand that almost like being the butler who served tea by giving the American the ability to land at Fairford airport, but not sharpening the knife. I think it's a appalling stand by the UK, especially as an ally of NATO, of the Americans. And I think that this historic moment will be remembered as the lowest point of this administration in the UK.
I completely agree with you. And I've actually got Brandon O'Neill coming up a bit later to speak exactly about that, the weak Keir Starmer. Oded Ailam, I really appreciate your insights. Fascinating. Thank you for joining me.